What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast, and I am fucking so excited to be sitting here talking to you guys about what I'm about to announce, some good news, announcements, some projects I've been working on behind the scenes. I've been talking about those on Instagram for a long time, and I'm just excited as fuck to be here. Like, I started season 2 of this podcast in January, and obviously, I'll admit, definitely failed that launch, I guess you would say. So I'm gonna call this a relaunch of season 2, but we'll call it season 2.5 or season 2.0. Let's call it season 2.0 because to be honest, my life kind of took a crazy fucking turn for the best, and 110% the best, which is why I've been very quiet on Instagram with certain regards, but very loud in other regards. And what I mean by that is, like, I used to be very vulnerable on Instagram. I used to have my podcast coming out weekly. I used to be making a lot of vulnerable posts, connection posts, just talking about like depression, mindset, anxiety, and I've kind of taken a turn to bring that more into the light of fitness and nutrition, and I'm going to talk about why that is to come. I'm going to talk about two main avenues of this podcast I'm excited to talk about. One is like where I've been at, the updates, Kelowna, why I moved to Kelowna, why I left my 9 to 5, why I did everything I'm doing to get to where I'm at. So that's number one, kind of what's been going on since January 1st till April 2nd, like where my life has been at and why I didn't actually continue the podcast. And two is my announcements, my news, my holy grail. I mean, that's not even really the right word of saying it, but I'm just over the fucking moon ecstatic to be where I'm at in my coaching business, my life, my relationships, my entire life of where I'm at. And I love it because a lot of my clients and say this, and I've got a lot of people that say it as well, because I made a post a few months ago and it was like, life can truly be as good as you want it to be. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart to the top. And that's another reason why I'm relaunching season 2.0 as this type of podcast and kind of going forward with this energy. Because what I realized was, like, I was playing small my entire life. I was very small-minded. I wasn't dreaming as big as I could have. I don't get me wrong, had high ambitions, high aspirations, but in terms of what life is truly fucking capable of, I was not living by that standard at all. And to be honest, like, that's what I'm going to jump into. I'm going to talk about why I moved to Kelowna, how I ended up there, why I ended up there, and what it taught me. And the reason why I think this is so important to start off the conversation before I talk about my great news is we got to talk about self-love. We got to talk about insecurities. We got to talk about investing in yourself. We got to talk about imposter syndrome. We got to talk about staying true to who you are as a person. We got to talk about scarcity mindset. We got to talk about generating and creating life purposes. And without stemming and leading the conversation in a certain way, it's almost pointless just to be like, hey, this is my announcement, this is why I worked for it, and this is where I'm doing, let's go. But it's like, I don't want to undervalue any of it, because I want you guys all listening, because this is kind of a side tangent, but I haven't posted since, I think, the first week of January, and I have received countless downloads on this podcast every fucking week since then. And I always have received a bunch of downloads. There was one week I've even received over 50 downloads cumulatively on all of my episodes on my podcast, and I do not do no promoting of it. I don't do anything. I just do genuinely from the bottom of my heart to the top, just as authentic as I can, because whoever's listening, all you guys listening, I want you to understand that I'm giving you the real rap raw of who I am as a person, whether, like, of who I am, period, down to who I am to the core. And I think that's so important with today's day in society, because everyone's trying to prove themselves to be something. And that's what I'm saying. We got to make sure that you're staying true to yourself. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about insecurities, your self-doubts, before we talk about my big announcement. Because my big announcement wasn't just me applying for a job and getting it. My big announcement is an announcement I'm going to talk about of me working my fucking ass off 12-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week for 3 fucking years. I'm going to say that again. This announcement is me celebrating my success for me grinding my fucking ass off for 3 years for 12-hour days behind the scenes, not looking for acknowledgement or validation from anyone. It was me working for me to create the life that I know I deserved for myself, the people around me, and I knew what life was capable of. And the reason why I'm premising it and leveling up or targeting it this way is because if I did not go to Kelowna and go all in on myself and decide to uproot my entire life and buy a one-way ticket on less than 7 days notice, or not 7 days, sorry, less than 14 days notice, and just fucking leave everything behind to really test who I was as a person, test my character, test my strengths, am I capable of the heights of life that I fucking seek? And what I did was I got myself into a position where I had a crazy ass opportunity to go network and meet tons of people that I talk to every day online that help me build my business to a new level, help me serve my clients at a new level, and help break my mindset to new levels. So to give some background, if anyone doesn't know, there's a coaching academy called the PT Domination. And what this is the coaching academy is just, it's an online platform where it helps online trainers just use e-commerce to their benefit, so they don't help you as much as your training and education and certificates and showing up for your clients, but I already knew I was good in that department. I know I could show up for my clients relentlessly. I know I make sure that there's no stones unturned when it comes to my clients' nutrition, their strength and conditioning, and their mindset. So for me personally, I wanted guidance and help and education on the systems and the habits and the routines to just show up more efficiently. So for the last 2 years, I've been just kind of behind the scenes getting help with online algorithms, online e-commerce things. It's almost like no different if you're going to school for nursing and you're getting somebody helping you with nursing. No different if you're going for chiropractic or if you're going for your master's in something. Like, it's no different. I was taking educational courses and mentorship programs to gain understanding of how can I take my life from here and bring it over there while servicing clients and making sure I feel fulfilled. So what happened was, don't get me wrong, like, before I made this jump, I love my job. I was actually, for anyone that doesn't know, before December of 2022 and about 14 to 16 months before then, I was the operations manager for Supplement King here at HRM. I did the Bedford Place Mall, and I did the Supplement King and the Park Lane Mall location. I did everything up right up until before they just opened up the new store. And I was responsible for hiring and firing, was responsible for ordering, the overhead, almost every single thing aside from paying the bills, essentially. So the reason why I'm premising it that way is because I had it very good, and there was actually, I ended up maybe screwing some people over by taking this opportunity. But again, going back to staying true to yourself and creating life purpose, I had to go all in on this opportunity. So I was in a very good position. I could have stayed, made a good comfy salary, had a 9-to-5, weekends off. I had it made. And anyone that doesn't know, like some people that do know very personally, like, I had it made. I was doing great, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy to the core, and I wasn't investing into myself as much as I was investing into another person's business and another person's community. And don't get me wrong, I love the Supplement King job, and anyone that knows that before Supplement King, I was a manager within Good Life, and I was their manager for about 3 to 5 years, and I worked within Good Life for around 6 or 7 years. So I've been in the fitness industry and the fitness scene for a long time, so I've always been giving other people's dreams like almost like a polish, based on my character, who I am as a person. And I just got to a point where, one, I was kind of tired of other people benefiting off of how good of a person I was, to be straight up honest. And I mean that from the utmost confidence. And anyone that knows me knows I'm not arrogant. I'm not going off the rock or saying anything that I wouldn't hold true or prove that it wasn't true. But I was just tired of just living beneath my means. I was tired of feeling like I wasn't living full capacity of my potential. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I felt fulfilled helping every customer and client come into that store and try to figure out their fitness goals. And when I was at Good Life, help them figure out their fitness goals. But I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. You know what I mean? I went over the top to help everybody, and I realized that was me, not the business. So what happened was there was an opportunity where there's an event. There's an event at the end of January to meet all these people on PT Domination. These guys that I see every single day, that I talk to every day, that are doing exactly what I want to do with my life, but 10 times motherfucking better, more efficient, and more agile. And I got into a position to do a conversation where it was like, why don't you come and meet us? Why don't you come and hang with us? Why don't you just shut the fuck up and quote unquote burn the bridges, burn the boats, and go all in on your dreams and go all in on who you want to become? And this was right after, and I'll be honest, this may ruffle some feathers depending on who listens, but I just renegotiated my salary, just renegotiated my commitments with Supplement King. They did everything they needed to help me. They did, and I mean this from the bottom heart to the top, that I feel bad for this, but they did everything they needed to do to help me align my life amongst their lives, but it just wasn't enough. And I knew once I kind of re-signed this deal and understood what my life would look like 12 months from that date, I literally that same night is when I bought the ticket to Kelowna. I just couldn't bear the thought of selling my dreams for an extra $10,000 a year, selling my dreams for an extra $5,000 a year. When we're looking at changing life and living life unapologetically and breaking heights, it's never about the fucking money. So when I look at like, okay, what does this X amount of dollars give me in terms of quality of life standard? Can I feed my mother? Can I pay my mom's rent? Am I going to be able to put money aside for Navy and Violet, my two nieces? Am I going to put money away for my kids and myself? Am I going to pay off debt that I went through from going in and out of foster care and fucking living my life the whole way I did myself? Because no one helped me. No, none of it was. But then the conversations always, and I'm not shitting on Solomon King per se, but the same with Good Life. The conversations always came back to, well, we could do X. And I was just tired of hearing these fucking conversations of we could do X. We could do X. So that's why I ended up in Kelowna. I was tired of the bullshit of not living my life 110% authentically to who I was, and I was half my foot was into building my business, building a legacy, and creating a ton of fucking impact, and then half my other leg was half building Supplement King, half building the retail store, and half like doing other things. And it was like I just needed to go full tilt onto my coaching business, full tilt onto the opportunities that presented itself for my coaching business to really see what I was made of. So that's how I ended up in Kelowna. So what happened was I had the conversation. 2-3 days go by, I'm working at Supplement King, does not feel right, talking to Emma about it, and I was like, can you look at some Airbnbs for Kelowna, just for shits and gigs, just for having fun, let me just see what it'd be to go there for a month. Long story short, she sends me two to three Airbnbs. I'm looking through them all. There's one that's literally a deal that says 37% off, because if you buy it for the month, it's 37% off. So I just literally stuck out my Visa, put it on my line of credit, and I bought the one-way ticket, or I bought the Airbnb. So I bought an Airbnb for a month out in Kelowna around the middle of December, before I had a ticket to Kelowna, before Emma had a ticket to Kelowna, before she even, I bought it before I even told her. She found out through an email, and then she texted me, and that's straight up honest. Anyone that's listening, it's the God honest truth. She found out through an email that we were going to Kelowna. And it was very stressful. I'll be honest. It was the most stressful point of my life. Like I had tons and tons and tons of anxiety, because it was like, how do we make this work? What do we do? And I was just stuck there with two decisions. One, do I sit here and become a victim and stay with this 9-to-5 job and stay with 80 to 90% of what social society expects me to stay with? Or do I go on the opposite end of where my gut tells me to go, and that is to fly to Kelowna, go all in, and invest almost every fucking penny that I have into putting myself in a room of other people that I felt I didn't even work half of hard as they did. And I'm not saying in Nova Scotia no one's like that, but I do feel like there's a lot of people that I'm around. I've lost several friend groups doing this journey, and I'm gonna be straight up honest and say it's from this. I outworked everybody. That's how I believe. I believe I outworked everybody, and my visions are higher than everybody. And I think that's what's hindered a lot of my relationships, is because I've bumped heads with a lot of people just based on, bro, why you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that, or you can't do this. And I'm just like, why is there always so many limitations and everything? So that was what I wanted to do with Kelowna, was like, want to know what? I was like, if I'm meant to be the crazy fucking coach that I know I can be, the mindset and performance coach that I can be, do I think I can help thousands of people and impact thousands of people, not only with nutrition, not only with strength and conditioning, but with mindset and mental health, and doing podcasts like this and getting to speaking gigs like this, and showing more about what I do behind the scenes in terms of my mental health work and my academy that I have, show more of what I do with my clients with nutrition, their relationship, and confidence building, all these different things. And I'm like, yes, I fucking do, without a goddamn doubt. I know I can be this person. Without a goddamn doubt, I know I'm blessed for this stuff. And it shows every day in my work. Am I capitalizing on it as best as I could with today's marketing? Like, no, because I don't care to that degree. I care about my people seeing the success that they want. And with that energy, I knew I needed to go do something that absolutely blew my fucking mind and got me outside of my comfort zone. And that was buy a one-way ticket to Kelowna on an Airbnb with no other fucking idea of what to do. My business has been doing fucking extremely well with all my clients. I love everybody. You guys know that. And I'll talk about some news in a bit. But since last September, October, I was making more than my 9-to-5 anyways. So come December, it was like, am I going to do this? Or am I going to just sit back and let this opportunity pass me? So I bit the bullet, took the opportunity, invested a lot of money into it, flew to Kelowna, one-way ticket. Emma left her job. She's doing everything with me. She has her full client roster that she's doing, so she's making her own. She's out, and it's crazy because it's only April 2nd, and she's already compensating for her income that was full salary through Good Life, and it's because of the same thing I did. going all in on myself, being unapologetically honest with who I want to become, and embracing the negative emotions and embracing every emotion, the positive ones as well, that come out with this, which is the next thing I want to talk about, is like what going to Kelowna taught me. Why did I end up in Kelowna with a one-way ticket and buying an Airbnb when I still had a home back in Nova Scotia? Like, and why I ended up there, like what did this teach me? Why did I do it? And to be honest, I went out there, I met all my mentors, I met all the people, and it unlocked and opened so many fucking doors in my brain. And this is what it taught me. It taught me that I am working nearly as hard as I thought I was working. It showed me that my mind is so small-minded in terms of what I think life is capable of, that I need to break more barriers. It showed me that I was letting my pride and my ego not only ruin my success in my business, but ruin my own happiness with myself. I needed to let go of everything. Like, it's funny because like side note is when I'm at this event, we had breakout rooms where, 5 people are working with some mentors, and my mentor told me my biggest thing for me was self-acceptance. I had to accept what I've been through. I had to accept my situation for what it is, and that's the car accident, that's the relationship with mom, relationship with dad, the relationship with the family dynamic that we have, and then the car accident, all these different variations. I had to accept it all, So what going to Kelowna taught me was a hell of a lot about self-love, hell of a lot about investing in yourself, a hell of a lot about staying true to who you are as a person, and above all else about cementing your life fucking purpose and being relentless with it. And the same time as it teaching me all these positive avenues in my life and what I'm capable of, it also showed me a hell of a lot about my insecurities. It also showed a hell of a lot about my self-doubt. It showed a hell of a lot about my imposter syndrome and me not feeling like I deserved the success, or me being worthy of being a successful coach online. And it showed me truly how scarce my mindset was in terms of financial stability, in terms of relationships, in terms of everything. And for the longest time, I just blamed, I grew up this way, this is why it was like this, or this was why it was. And what Kelowna showed me was that it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter whether it was yesterday, whether it was like when you're 12. Of course, with an asterisk, because trauma is trauma and healing is healing, and you got to go through your revelations. But what it did show me was that we are capable people, and we have at the drop of a dime to decide what we want to do at any moment in our motherfucking lives. And that's what excited me, and that's what it taught me about Kelowna. And I have not one motherfucking regret for uprooting my entire motherfucking life and jumping out there and literally throwing myself into the deep end of the pool. And then by the end of January, literally swimming like Michael Phelps in that pool. And that's how I feel. And to be honest, that's why we start to get into what my big announcement is. I went to Kelowna to challenge every motherfucking insecurity, self-doubt, imposter syndrome aspect of my scarce mindset to really come out on the other side feeling full of self-love, investing fully into myself. And I've never felt this true and this aligned to who I am as a person, and I'm so fucking thankful for that. And I am now so concrete in my life purpose and so excited in my vision that it's relentless now, and I'm going to go so fucking full tilt towards this and be so unapologetic about it that I don't give a flying fuck who I offend, who I hurt, who I whatever. Because if you're in my way and you know me, I don't have one malicious bone in my body. I wish every single person on this planet the utmost love, the utmost respect, the utmost compassion, the utmost bliss, the utmost joy. But if you get between me and my goals in terms of changing this life, you're gonna get fucked up. And I mean that with all love, because I'm telling you right now, the announcement that I have is something that is a dream come true. So I remind myself every single day that I already hit the lottery. Me and Emma, we're retired. We work for ourselves. We make our own fucking money. We take control of our goddamn lives every second of the day. If we want to sleep in on a Monday, we do it. If we want to stay up late on Wednesday, we do it. Her birthday is this. Well, this is April 2nd. I'm recording this, but I'm going to release it on April 3rd. And her birthday is this weekend. And if we wanted to, we could go somewhere, but we're not. But I'm just saying, like, the fluidity of our life and the efficiency of what we want to do is like, that's the win. That's the win, is that we are already hit the lottery by creating our lives the way we are. Everything else is a blessing. That's why I'm sitting here saying that I know exactly what I want to do with my life. I know exactly what I want to do with my purpose and cement who I am as a person. Because the exciting news is I am now still Extreme Lifestyle Living Coaching Academy, but I have now partnered up with Team Lifts, Patty Lifts, as a head coach on their team. So now my community, the Extreme Lifestyle Living Coaching Academy, is going to be under an umbrella of Team Lifts coaching, and that is fucking exciting. So anyone that doesn't know who Patty Lifts is one of the number one natural bodybuilders in the world. He's top 5 in the fucking world. And the crazy thing about it is he's from Halifax here as well. He used to be a coach at the Canada Game Center, and he is one of the guys that I met and linked up with out in Kelowna. And I'm telling you, if I didn't go to Kelowna, invest in myself, and meet all these like-minded individuals, I wouldn't have the opportunity to be a part of his team, have access to his tools and resources and his specialty to help me bring impact to my business just as he has his. Because if anyone that does know Patty Lifts, over the last 3 to 4 years, he has literally skyrocketed to success. He's always been successful within the bodybuilding market, but he's become an absolute staple to online coaching and online coaches in terms of leading by example with integrity, leading by example with professionalism, and leading by example with confidence and compassion with the online coaching scene. Because it is very different compared to the in-personal training, and then ever since COVID, I do feel like it's been more regulated to be quote-unquote online. But pretty much to break it down to you is like, if you are in the online coaching scene and you have an opportunity to be with one of the original guys that started online coaching, because he's been doing this forever. Like if you watch some of his YouTube videos, he's been doing this like since 2014, 2013, like before a lot of that stuff was quote unquote famous to be an online person, online influencer, coach, whatever. So that's the exciting news, is I'm now a head coach on Patty Lifts team. And Patty is like, I look up to him immensely, and that's one of the things I learned about in Kelowna was like, looking up to someone such as him. Like I didn't realize how much I actually truly looked up to people like him, because like sitting home in the comfort of Nova Scotia and like everything's quote unquote online, it's easy to create these stories in your life and be like, well, they're probably doing this, or like, you know, like it's easy to be successful doing this, or like you just create all these bullshit stories. But that's why I needed to prove myself and move to Kelowna and see what it is that I'm capable of. Because once you're in the energy, in the field of all these people, you realize how it's so full of shit sitting in your house doing anything, which is why I'm so quick to say like I had such a scarcity mindset. So I attest to me gambling on myself and investing into myself and staying true to who I am as a person and going to Kelowna as a huge testament of getting onto this team, because it just backs up it's almost like this is a reward for me investing into myself and showing up for myself relentlessly to deserve a spot on this team. So if you don't know who Patty Lifts is, definitely go on Instagram and search him up. He's a fucking phenomenal guy. And then one of the biggest things that I'm excited about is his business partner, Asward. And he's also from Nova Scotia. But if it wasn't for I wouldn't be in this space at all. I remember talking to him over 2 years ago, asking him about the quote-unquote online space and asking about its validity, asking about its potential, and asking about like what does it have to offer. And based on who I was as a person, and as you guys all know, very genuine, honest, loving, caring person with mental health, mindset, nutrition, it was inevitable for me to not just start getting into the field. So that was over 2 years ago. And then if he didn't help me get into the field, just push me in the right direction, I wouldn't be sitting here. So for me to be a part of his team as well, gain his hands-on experience, his hands-on knowledge, his hands-on help, it's a means to the world. Like to me, this is no different than if you're going and you're like, want to know what, I want to play basketball and I want to try to make it to the league, but I don't want to take any help from anybody, and I just want to kind of do it on my own. And then you literally get recognized for doing it on your own, and then you get part of another team because you just stay true to yourself. And I think this is no different than that. And the reason why I'm so excited to share that I'm joining is because the biggest thing when it comes to online coaching and serving my clients is always comes down to impact. Do I like the financial freedom? Yes. Do I like to be able to sit in my house and do what I want? Yes. But at the end of the day, I service my clients to fulfill their needs and make sure that they have every single thing that for their self to set themselves up for success with any of their motherfucking goals. So it was a no-brainer to join a part of another team when the conversation was along the lines of impact, when the conversation was along the lines of longevity, health and wellness, and building up a legacy of an empire of like-minded individuals that all want to pull on the same rope of being their best fucking versions of themselves. It was a no-brainer. I have 30 people in my community right now. I add the Team Lifts community now with everyone else and the head coaches over there. And that team, we now have over 800 people together all pulling on the same rope. We all have access to each other. And that's what's crazy. Because if anyone has ever heard of the ripple effect, and this is why I'm one of the biggest reasons of why I'm such a positive person, is that if no matter what happens to you, I treat you with respect. Say you come in, you punch me in my face, I'm like, it's okay, I love you, it's all good. Say the next day you come in, you kick me in my shins, tell me to go fuck myself, I'll still tell you I love you and I'll give you all the respect. And the reason why that is because of the ripple effect. I want to change as many lives as I fucking can to create other lives to be changed as well. So if that joke about the guy punching me in the face, kicking me in my shins, eventually by me showing him love, showing him compassion, he will eventually show someone else compassion. He will eventually show someone else joy, love, bliss, the whole 9 yards. Because this is another side tangent, just kind of going off about it, but how you treat people and how you treat yourself is just a direct reflection of how you deeply feel about yourself. So that's why it is important for me to treat everyone with compassion, treat everyone with love, because I deeply want to love myself. I'm working on that. As I said, that's one big thing I learned about Kelowna, is that I need to solidify, I didn't cement my purpose, but solidify more of the self-love aspect, right? Because that's what life's all about. And that's what I mean about me realizing how low frequency or low scarcity I was running my life. But that's the reason why I'm joining. Big reason is the impact. You know what I mean? Like, we're all pulling on the same rope. There's over 20 head coaches, and then there's over 20 people entirely with the team. And we have weekly meetings, and we have all these other things that we're doing behind the scenes. So it's just like the total world impact is what's important for me. And that took a lot of ego and pride to set aside, because again, it's not about the money. It's not about getting thousands and thousands of clients to just service. It's about servicing the clients, but it's about the impact as well. So this is why you need to be excited. This is why you need to be motherfucking excited, because I've just taken things to the next motherfucking level. This isn't just, I'm an online coach and you transfer me some money and I'm going to help you with your macros. No, this is like the full fucking meal deal. I was already doing the full meal deal, but this is like the full fucking meal deal. And this is why you need to be excited. Is because if you don't just want to have somebody help you with losing 5 pounds or gaining 5 pounds of muscle, or if you don't want someone just to measly help you with a little fitness goal, whether it's like getting into clothes or understanding food better or going to the gym regularly, but if you want to be part of something bigger, if you want to be part of like a community, a movement, an impact to not only just make yourself feel better because you selfishly want goals, but because you want to show up for other people relentlessly, but because you want to lead by example for your family, but you want to not only lead by example for your family and your kids and your mom and your dad, and to prove everyone why you decided to step up above all adversities and be who you want to be and lead by that example we're talking about, is that you deserve to be a part of this community to impact other people and be supported with other people that you deserve to be around. That's the thing that I'm excited about, and why you need to be excited is because if you don't want to just do, I want to like lose some weight for this. If you want to be part of something bigger, pulling the same rope in terms of setting the example for everybody, and that's also what my brand meant, Extreme Lifestyle Living, meant that if you decided to stand tall every single day, 10 toes down, chin up, chest out against any adversity, then you live an extreme lifestyle. And that's why I love this impact with this community as well. And that's why you need to be excited, because this isn't the little leagues where I give you a meal plan and you go about your way. We're part of the same team. We're going to become best friends. There's 800 other community members waiting for you. And if you want to cement your legacy with your longevity and health and wellness for the rest of your life, you know what you got to do. You reach out. We get set up on a phone call. We get set up on a program. We get set up on something that makes sense for you. And then the only thing that you need to worry about is being committed, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and leaving no stone unturned. This is truly the real deal of changing your life, and this is why it makes me excited, because now I have a whole arsenal of soldiers with me amongst another community, that if you want anything done, whether it's losing weight, whether it's gaining strength, whether it's just having better confidence within your mind, body, and soul, and looking in the mirror and being like, I want to at least look at myself and love myself, whatever it is, we got it. And that's why you need to be excited, because this isn't just something small now. This is proof that the hard work that I've been doing for the last 3 years is coming to fruition. This is proof that if you just sit down and shut the fuck up and put all of your money on you, show up for yourself unapologetically, you invest in yourself tenfold, you stay true to your passion and trust your intuition regardless of the adversities that come around, regardless of the naysayers, regardless of the relationships that are bruised, regardless of no matter how hard and how anxious filled you may feel, you stay true to it, and you end up on the other side of all these emotions I'm talking about. You will cement your purpose, you will create your purpose, and you will be the most unapologetic and confident fucking person you've ever been. But in order to do that, you got to gamble on yourself. And in order to do all this stuff, you have to fucking live life on that fucking... I'm kind of rambling at this point, but just live life fucking unapologetic, I'm telling you. But that's all I got. That's honestly all I have. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and give an update on my life of why I went to Kelowna, the exciting news of being a head coach on Team Lifts, and trust me when I say this. Trust me when I say this, that this is the very, 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 very fucking beginning of a very, very new legacy that's about to be cemented. And any of you guys that have been following me since the beginning, I appreciate you so much. I want you to know that. And actually, like, any of you guys that listen, like, I really want you guys to reach out more. Text me more. Just let me know you listened to the episode. Let me know what your number one takeaways were. Let me know what I could be doing better in terms of the podcast, the social media. Like, just tell me more of what you guys want to know, what you want to hear, what you guys want to, like, understand. Because this is, like I said, this is the very, very beginning of a new fucking legacy that's going to be cemented. And I cannot motherfucking wait to show you guys more. But until then, enjoy your guys' motherfucking week. It is Monday by the time you guys are listening to this, 5 a.m. when we released it. But I appreciate you guys. Peace, love, chicken grease, as I always say. I don't know why I say that. My boy Jeff always said that to me. So a lot of people say peace, love, protein, but I don't want to steal everybody's. I like to say peace, love, chicken grease. Enjoy your guys' fucking day. Be authentic with your guys' self and don't fucking give up.